Hi guys, Brett
Hello.
here from Hearns Hobbies.
I'm BJ.
And today we are going to get a speed machine. We're going to get it fitted with the BittyDesign ZL-21N body to make it look like a NASCAR. We're going to bolt on some GRPs, and this is going to be part of our speed machine project.
That's right, and it's going to see action at the Velodrome. So if you've seen some of our other footage, we love going to the Coburg Velodrome.
And the car that we're talking about, this is a FSR Model GT. And this is very similar and the same segment as the Armour Infraction.
Yes.
And the Limitless and the Felony, all those 7th scale speed machines. So this video will also be applicable to all those models.
That's right. And this sort of size, they're quite, well, I'll call it common now.
Common.
Like in the past, we used to use smaller cars, and this actually works better at that Velodrome because it's quite rough. And these are designed for speed. So straight out of the box.
And when you get old, you can see it.
Well, that too.
Hey?
That too. And they sound awesome.
They do.
Don't they?
And we know for a fact that when we took this one out of the box, it did 107 kilometers an hour.
You had the GPS on it, didn't you?
Didn't it? With the GPS. So the only way is up. I did put a big opinion on it at one stage, but the tyre blew. And that was 128, and I'm sure it was doing closer to 140 or 150.
Yes.
But anyway, join us as we get the speed machine underway.
So our first steps, we're going to be fitting the body, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's take these clips off.
And it's got Velcro, which I love on this standard fit, mate.
Yeah, because that is one of the things about speed cars. Under tray definitely helps.
And this FSR Model GT, actually, you can see where the tire's blown, Beach. How it's blowing up in there.
Yes, yes.
It's actually full LED fitted. So it's got brake lights, indicators, and headlights. Really cool.
The indicators work too, right?
We'll be doing all the way with that. And going for the BittyDesign body.
That's it, and they're big, aren't they?
But what we're going to start with first is, I think we'll start with fitting some tyres, because I want something that's going to be speed rated to what we're going to do.
Well, I guess we want
You
to make
can talk
sure...
about some of the tools we're going to use.
Oh, okay, we'll do. Well, with the tyres, we want to make sure that it's sitting at the correct height, right?
Yeah.
Because we're going to be mounting it up, and that influences how we mount up.
And also holes for the arches.
Yes, that's
you know?
right. That's right.
Because this car here does have different transmission ratios front and rear.
Yes.
And it allows it to run a bigger, beefier tyre on the back, purely for aesthetics.
For sure.
So another video later down the track, I'm going to be showing you how I do in fact change the gearing on the front gearbox to make sure that it is one-to-one drive or equal drive front and back.
Yep.
So we can in fact have, can see here there's a larger diameter rear. Now it might not look like much, but that is enough to really affect the handling and blow up your center differential.
That's
if
right.
you weren't to change that.
Yep.
So I think one's 102 mil, one's 107 mil diameter. Whereas the GRPs will be running,
They're going to be identical.
they're going to be identical.
Yep.
And we're going for XM5s. And we're
Which
going,
are high speed rated.
these are a high speed rated, belted tyre in a slick. These are Italian rubber.
They know how to go fast.
They do, don't they?
They do.
And these, we sell hundreds of these tyres. These, and you can get, these are primarily designed for racing.
Yep. And they use a standard 17mm hex.
Yep.
Which is quite common on a lot of A scales. So it'll also do, well, fit onto buggies as well.
Buggies, so if you're playing with your buggy in the on-road, you put these on.
Yep.
And these things do, I mean, these are for 4S or 6S capable out of the box.
Yes.
So you can in fact smoke the tyres. And I know that firsthand.
Well, let's talk about some of the tools. So, simple thing here, we've got a Sharpie. So the Sharpie we're going to use for marking the body, the wheel arches and such, so it's easy for us to see where we're cutting. Then we've got our trusty modelling knife. These are 9 steps. Hobby knife?
You know I'm not allowed near that.
No, you're dangerous things like
Doing
this,
the
aren't
old
you?
reach across.
Okay, so usually with, say, smaller bodies, we'll be using this to do the score and snap method. Now with these larger bodies, the thickness of the Lexan,
1.5 mil thick.
that is amazing, right? So that's why they're so tough and they keep their shape.
It's like cutting Nan's fingernails.
Isn't it? So it's a bit harder to do the snap, right? Because to do the score and snap, you really need to go close to halfway for it to give a nice clean snap. And it's really hard to do that with these, but we'll be using that to trim off our cuts. Most of our cuts are going to be achieved with Lexan scissors. So we've got the curved ones here from Bitty.
You could almost use a Dremel or a little angle grinder.
You could do, but I
on
feel
something.
like you need to do like the basic cuts first before
Yeah.
you do the cleaning.
100%.
And then there's a straight one as well. Okay. From there we have a reamer. This is an Aeromax reamer. And the reamer we're going to use for making all the body mount holes.
Yep.
And then it makes a nice clean circle. And then we're going to finish off with some sanding sponges. So we've got the 9 steps. These are the essential ones.
Yep.
But we've also got the larger ones too. They'll work just as well. And this will be used for curving and sanding around the wheel arches and finishing it off.
And we're not actually going to, we're cheeky, we're not actually even going to be painting this body, are we?
No, because someone else is going to paint it for us.
The infamous Tony Gray has
That's
put his
right.
hand up to paint it for us.
Okay, so you've got
Put it back here
the...
so it's on camera. You can see
Yep.
now. So we've got the GRPs on. Still
Yep.
got a really nice ride height, but we do have a considerable difference in rollout.
Yeah, that's right. So that would have been sitting differently as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how we're going to run the car. This is how it's going to sit. So let's mount up the body to
And
this
I will
spec.
now, because of the aero, probably in the setup, have to dial in a little bit of rake
Yep.
to keep the rear of the body up.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to adjust the body height and everything on this. So without further, let's get this BittyDesign out of the
big
packet,
body,
right?
isn't it? So here's the car here.
So first thing to come out is the wing, what do you call it, C-pillar struts?
C-pillar struts.
Yeah, so they go down the rear window,
Ah,
like air dams.
right.
Look at the sticker sheet.
Yeah.
That is really cool. So in fact, you wouldn't even have to mask the windows up if you
Yeah.
didn't want to, because it does in fact have window stickers.
Yeah, so if you're not confident in painting, just paint the whole lot.
And it does
put the
in
stickers on
fact
later.
have window masks in here. That'll be that big white sheet right here.
Mm.
Window mask, so you can mask it out. And knowing Tony Gray, it won't have a single sticker on this body.
So this is a gurney flap here.
Yep.
Okay, rear gurney flap.
It's going to be really...
All right, so let's have a look at that body. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Wow. All right, so do we need to take off any bumpers or anything
Well,
so we can get it flat?
we're going to keep the... No, we're going to need to start cutting it, basically. We're going to need to cut the skirt off of it so we can go... Because we
So
really
it
want
will
to
drop
keep...
down.
We really want to keep the diffuser on.
Sure.
So if we can see here how the diffuser is sitting up.
So the body's going to have to sit around that.
Yep.
Now on, say, smaller cars, that wouldn't be a consideration because they don't have these sort of diffusers, right?
No, they definitely don't.
And so that's where if there's any bumpers or anything, it might be helpful to take them off before you mount up. But in this case, we're just going to trim it until it drops on, and then we'll do the body mounts.
Yeah, and you can see here, I mean, clear bodies are really hard to do on camera.
Yeah.
But it does have a nice line to get us started.
Yep.
And I think we'll follow that around, cut the skirt off the body.
Yep. Cut the
And
skirt out, and then custom fit the back end.
Yeah, custom fit the back end
Yep,
around,
okay.
because we want it to be a really nice fit around the diffuser.
Yeah.
So I suppose we want to make sure we don't remove too much material, but I think if we cut the skirt off, I think we're going to be pretty right.
All right. So I'm going to cut that. So let's give these straight ones a go, eh?
They are the BittyDesign ones, aren't they?
Yep.
And the thing you'll notice about good quality scissors is how strong they are for Lexan. So they're not just mum's favourite kitchen scissors. These are
Well,
really nice.
those used to
precision-
work really well, didn't they, when we were kids?
Yeah, until mum.
They get
Hey,
slapped across the back of their head.
that's right.
When mum's looking for it.
Bash with the rolling pin. No, that didn't happen. We can't say that. Well, you can do that, and I might
will
actually
do.
get to work on these little aero bits. What do you think?
Go ahead.
Because these, I would like to get these fitted and everything before they actually get painted.
So clear bodies in general are pretty hard to see lines. I find the easiest way is just move it around. You maneuver it with a light close by, and I would usually have a light behind me so it highlights where all these lines are. Alternatively, you can use the Sharpie and draw the line in. I think it's easy enough to see.
And the body does have a protective coating on the outside.
Now this is pretty thick, so I'm going to cut off that 90-degree skirt off first. It's going to help me get my hands in there as I'm cutting.
Wow, I've never actually cut a body this thick before, Beach.
Isn't it thick?
Like I said, it's thicker than Nan's toenails.
Let's just trim this skirt all the way around. And this is where nice sharp scissors really help. So I'm going to bring this down here. This is just going to help us get into...
I'm just about working up a sweat over here.
You're working up a sweat?
Yeah.
Well, it can be hard work. Could be that it's really hot here as well. Because we've got some pretty tropical weather, which is unusual.
Bit of Melbourne summer. But could be watching this in the middle of winter.
Alright, so let's cut off this skirt.
Pretty handy with the scissors there, Beige.
Am I?
Yeah.
I think I've used them once or twice before.
So what I'm doing here is indeed just cut the bulk of it away. And the most difficult part about this is not only the thickness, but indeed all the 90-degree curves. Now this is really good lesson to not throw away the scraps, because this would be handy in your other RC adventures, wouldn't it? You can
It's
make
pretty structural, this thick stuff.
body support, wing end plates for 10th scale.
So you said wing.
No, wing, mate, wing.
Okay, so there we go. So there's the basic skirt off. Let's just dump it over here. Okay, so that's just so it makes it easier for me to get in there and trim straight across that line now. Because otherwise that skirt can sort of get in the way and make your scissors go all wonky. All right, so let's trim
Wonky, did you say?
Wonky.
Chunkamunka and wonky.
That's it. All right, I've changed my pose now.
Change your pose?
Yeah, so I'm going to go through this way.
What are you going for now?
I'm going to do the actual trim along the line. So we'll go along the line. We might actually change this if we're going to sit this lower on the car later. But at least this will make it nice and flat for when we sit it over the body. Chop that off, get rid of that. Because otherwise that's just going to curl up and poke in my face.
That's the last thing you want.
No, that's right.
Don't want
I mean,
it.
there's other things that I can think of better to poke in my face, but
Definitely
not that.
Definitely not that.
All right, so actually let's just go straight across. I can trim off the front air dam cleaner later, because it's actually a step up, but we don't want it totally perfect now. This is the rough cut.
That's the only way I know how.
Rough cut.
Yeah. That's about my limitations.
Well, it's super thick down here, because this is almost full thickness of the sheet. Because as
Isn't
you
it?
imagine, when it's getting vacuum formed, it gets stretched to a thinner state across the top. But here, wow, it's really solid.
The roof would be the thinnest part of the body shell, wouldn't it?
It would be. That's the most stretched part. All right, so there's the front dam.
I can't believe how they get these beautiful machining marks into this thick.
Oh, you can see the CNC machine marks, yeah.
Isn't it? But it's not like offensive. It doesn't look like it's warped or anything. It's absolutely magnificent. It is so precise, BittyDesign molds.
So those marks would be on the inside. The outside would be quite smooth.
Yes, where it's pulled over.
That's right.
And I suppose that if anything else, it's going to help the paint stick, isn't it? It's going to give that
Well, that's right. It gives a bit of tooth.
bit of tooth, bit more surface area, doesn't it?
Mm. Right, so we've got most of it done there. I'm just going to come up around the back.
Lucky I've been exercising my scissor hand.
It's a bit of work, isn't it? I can feel my hands getting tired.
You can feel the burn.
The burn.
Is it okay to cramp?
Right, so I'm just going to hook this around here. I'm going to use a curved scissors to get into that part later.
And sometimes you have to attack things from a few angles, don't you, when using
I'm
scissors?
doing this backhanded. It's not
Backhanded!
It's not helping me there.
Backhanded.
Sometimes you can't get in. Yeah, that's a bit hard, that one. All right, I'm going to go with
And you nearly have to do
that.
that. You nearly have to do these bodies standing upright, don't you? Like you have to be dancing around with it.
Well, you do, because look at it. By hanging it here, it's actually down to my knee. So if I was sitting down, it'd just get in the way,
Be very awkward.
wouldn't it? Oh, I found a different angle to come from. This feels more comfortable.
Does it?
Yep.
This could potentially be the last 7th scale body I ever attempt to cut out.
It's a bit of work, isn't it?
And not that,
What about 5th scale bodies? You've done them before, haven't you?
And not that
They were
I'm-
even thicker than this.
yeah, they're even thicker, but they're a lot more basic back then, mate.
All right, so there's a basic cut. So we'd sit that on top now and see how it looks. It's probably going to get blocked by the front bumper. And let's see. Let's pull this back a bit.
Pull it back.
Wow. All right, so I've got the front body posts, which are a bit in the way now, so it's not going to sit totally down, and it's still resting against that rear diffuser, as you can see from here. So I reckon we're going to use our Sharpie now, start marking those lines where it goes upwards on the diffuser, because we're going to have to cut out like this. So just draw in some lines first as a guide, and we'll start trimming a little bit.
Is it something that you could like tuck over and mark it from
there.
mark it from here?
Well, we could do that too.
Is that something that you could do? How does it
Well, we
line up
could.
on the front axle?
Well, it's not, but we can use that as a guide anyway,
So you can
because it'll be sitting over that.
you can use simple little tricks like that to spin that
You can see
around.
there.
Because the body is clear, and this is the big advantage of, this is why I always like to cut and fit bodies before they get painted. Because you can imagine now handling it, big scissors and stuff like that, trying
Yes.
to cut it and fit it, you'd wreck the paint job before it's even on the car.
So if we draw that in, so I'll draw it in now. Where's the
How fast is it going to go?
This is going to do, what, how fast is my Sharpie going to go?
A squillion. A squillion kilometers.
Let's move this way, because I've got a better view of it.
I want to try these chunky monkeys.
You're doing chunk of monkeys. All right, so hopefully in the camera you can
Oh,
sort of see what I'm
jeez.
trying to do
Can't
here.
even do that. You know you need tin snips for these bodies.
Don't you?
My poor little delicate fingers.
All right, so I'm just going to do a quick trace.
Quick trace.
Yep.
I'm wondering if these pieces are even 1.5 mil. These are massively thick.
Okay, so that's what I've got. I don't know if you can see it on the camera though. Maybe from here with the white background. Might be able to just see that where I've drawn that in. Maybe, hopefully.
You can see that on the top camera. There you
See
go.
that? Alright, so I was just basically tracing the rear diffuser. I'm just going to trim around there and we'll see if we can get that a bit tighter. What do you reckon?
Yeah. Oh, they sound nice.
What do?
The scissors.
Did you like that
When
sound?
you did that, yeah. Call you Edward.
It's a bit of a sad movie, isn't it, Edward?
He was a man that had scissors for hands.
That's right.
I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Haven't you?
Nah.
It's worth watching.
You sure?
Mm.
What do you like most about it?
Just
How would
the
he wipe?
imagery that was
How would he wipe himself?
Oh, he's got methods.
Oh, does he?
I think he's got methods.
I should hope so.
He's got methods with pets and people's hair, so it's got to be methods. He did have a lot of scars though, so it took a bit of practice.
Mm.
All right, so I've just trimmed this a little bit here, so it's easier for me to cut. So particularly when you're going into corners
Oh!
like that. That was a demo. So I'm
Was
going to
it?
use the curved scissors after Brett's finished with them. I'm just going to trim all the way across here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're done. Excellent.
Oh, I'm not really done, but
Oh,
it's gouging my poor little fingers.
is it?
You doing the rough cut?
This is a rough cut.
What we've got here is a bit of 9 steps 6S lipo. And this bad boy here, this car, actually can take 2 lipos. So you can put 2 2S, you know, 2 3S, whatever. It can be 4S, 6S. It's got the 150 amp speed controller. But for the velodrome, given that we're going to be going around in a counterclockwise direction, we're going to put 1 6S over on the left hand side to keep the weight nice and low on the center line of the car. So that's going to be cool.
Classic oval setup.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so there's a rough cut. And that's what we ended up with.
And you're going to do some
Trimmed
more
off.
fitting?
Let's see how it sits now. Alright, so that was pretty rough. Needs to be trimmed off a little bit more for it to sit properly.
More?
Where is it? Out there.
Please, sir. Can I have some more?
Actually, it doesn't really need to. The rear is pretty much right. And the front, well, normally on a body you want the front to be perfect, right?
Yeah, I'd
So
like
we'll
it to
probably-
be pushed up against the bumper bar, so we don't have to add too much foam if possible. And you also got to be, so I've got some beautiful lines here to go off as well, and that'll ensure that we get it nice and straight, won't it?
Yeah. But I think they should be pulled forward a little bit, eh?
Yeah, but where's the diffuser? It'd be nice if it sat on the diffuser a bit, no?
Yeah, and that's why we need to pull it forward a little bit. So it sits on the top there, on the diffuser, just there. But we'd like the sides to be like supported as well, right?
Yeah.
So it only needs a little bit, like up to there.
Yep. So then what
Okay.
you're going to do, you're going to mark your front axles. You're going to just etch out your Sharpie for your... We'll get
Let's
the body,
see.
get the front body post done first.
Let's get this to fit first. I reckon.
Do some more cuttings or what?
Yep, I did a little bit of trim there.
What do you need? Do you need these ones?
Curvies, yep. On these. Those are straighties.
Yeah, it's not... The straighties are not really...
I'm not doing it for you.
Not in this
For what you're trying to-
application. I
Yeah,
just
that's
can't-
why the two are really handy, right?
I cannot get the leverage.
Alright, so I just trimmed off 1.5 mm on each side. Still not quite right. It's closer. You can see how it's sitting on the diffuser now. I'm going to pull it back a bit.
Are we going to have opening air flaps?
Excuse me?
Opening air flaps on the body, look at it.
Is that a thing?
We could put hinge, I don't know, that's what they real ones have. No, we're going to put a rocket on this.
Are we?
Yep. I can confirm. It's probably not going to make it go any faster. It's definitely going to add to the pizzazz.
There we go. How's that? So it's sitting on the diffuser right now.
Because if you're not first, you're last.
Okay, like so.
I'm often diffused.
Now there is a little like hole here.
Oh.
Don't know if it's going to make any difference, but we'll run it and we'll see what happens. That can be like a little exhaust for all the air that gets accumulated inside as well. Because with cars without under trays, we'll generally cut out the whole back end to let out all the air.
How's it going to go? Oh, it's going to be perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Just got to trim.
We'll probably
Trim around the edge here.
cut that one off.
Yep. And then it'll sit right.
Are we going to cut the
Right on.
body so it locks on? Or we're going to cut the under tray so we can Velcro it more?
No, we'll cut the body off, I reckon.
Cut the body?
Unless we heat it and we bend it.
Oh, that's some crafty stuff.
We can go either way. But
'Cause
I
I
think if we left it straight, it'll look
Stronger?
It'll look better.
Betterer?
I think so.
So I reckon we cut this.
You want to trim the whole thing off it?
Yep.
You can do.
So that way
Yeah.
we can get more
Trim
Velcro
this-
on there.
Yeah.
Because we really need
It's an
it to be
option.
nice and
Just a
stiff.
little bit hanging out there. That'll be easy enough to cut off. Put some extra Velcro,
Yeah, lots
Yeah.
of Velcro.
and it'll stop this from flapping.
Yes, that's my thoughts exactly. Because this, it's going to flap.
If anything, we'll probably want to put some carbon rod in there too, eh? We'll put a carbon rod there to the back to stop that from flapping.
Oh, we've got another one for that, haven't we?
Haven't we?
Hey?
Haven't we? That's another trick coming.
That's another trick coming up.
All right, so what are we going to do? So I want to find the center line.
Well, do you want to get the body holes mounted first and drop it down? It's up to you. How do you usually do it? I usually put the holes in first. Usually front ones first, then the back.
Are you happy with how that sits on the back here? I think so. All right, so that's going to sit. That's almost about right, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so we want to get across to as close to the top as possible, right? Look down.
Now you want the body hole should be fairly central. They're big, meaty 8mm.
So there's lines there, but it doesn't quite match up, right? Because that body mount could have been bent as we pushed down on it. And it has, isn't it? So it's actually about there. Oh. And we're using these lines as guides. Can you see the gap there?
And one thing about the BittyDesign molds is they are very square.
And bear in mind that these mounts might have
been
moved around a bit as well.
Oh, there's a good chance. Might have hit a gutter or two.
Yeah, yeah. But once we get the back ones on,
how fast does it look already?
The sides. It looks pretty good, eh?
It's going to go.
All right, you want to start
Holage.
Yep.
Got your Aeromax reamer.
And we start doing a little bit, and then we just test fit it again. Because with a reamer, you can actually shift the direction that you're cutting the hole.
A very little bit.
Yeah.
And this is an instrumental tool, isn't it? A body reamer. Once you have one of these, you know you're really into RC.
Okay, so you started your hole there, yeah.
They just make your life so easy, don't they?
Oh, for sure, definitely. Before this, what we used to do? We used to use a knife.
A hobby knife, spin around and around, and then you end up with a triangle.
Yep.
And then those who tempted to use a high-speed drill bit would tear the body, and stab themselves. So I'm just going gently, gently.
So with these guide holes, we just test fit it again, and then adjust it as needed.
So they're 8mm holes on these 7th scale body posts. So I've just put little pilot holes in there.
How's that looking? Happy with that?
Well, it seems to drop straight down on top of the centre of the post.
Okay, we'll just open them up.
Yep.
Because they're always going to move a little bit anyway, right? And we'll fix it down later by trimming it to fit the bumper.
And we'll have to adjust the height, no doubt.
Yeah.
Because it has gone from a Mustang-esque kind of scale body.
Mustang.
To this aerodynamic. It's going to look very NASCAR, isn't it?
NASCAR. Yeah, it's pretty sleek looking. Pretty firm, stiff body mounts on this, aren't they? On the back. All right, let's try it out. A bit more.
Yep.
Could probably do from the other end too, because it is a tapered.
It is a tapered one, and we are going through 1.5mm Lexan, but I know from it does actually have sizes written on it as well.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's handy.
So I'm just sort of cleaning it up a bit.
Nice.
You like that?
You're trying to get rid of the fur?
Yeah, a bit of fur.
Yep.
Not Vietnamese fur, just... Oh, I could do with some fur.
Yeah, it's very tasty, isn't it?
Isn't it? Oh, noodle soup.
Right.
From the gods.
Nectar from the gods, eh?
Yeah.
Alright, so you're just going to finish it up from the bottom.
I don't like mine with tripe though.
Tripe?
No, I'm a bit too vanilla for tripe.
Ah. But the thing is, when you order your stuff, you normally get the thing with everything. It's not just tripe, it's got all other bits as well.
Szechuan I've been getting lately.
I don't mind tripe by itself. It's got its beef as well.
Raw beef.
All right.
That should be plenty.
Should be good.
8.5 mil hole. Let's go in at 8
Oh,
mil
look at
hole.
that.
Look at that.
Beauties. All right, so that's sitting at the back here.
And we will need a little bit of foam in the front there to keep it stiff, but that's okay. We can
So
sort
that's
that
going to
out.
need to be dropped down probably about 2 centimeters, yeah?
Do you want to get the back one lined up now that
Might as well.
before we drop it down and throw it more out of skew F? What do you reckon?
Why not? Why not?
Looking good?
I think so. Just make sure it's sitting
Sitting pretty?
true. Yeah, it looks pretty much right.
Where does this winglet go?
Oh, is that a winglet? Where'd you get that from?
Oh, it goes like that. See?
Oh, is that to support?
That
Oh,
goes
so
there
you could-
and there's one there. This is what I'm cutting. Look how thick it is.
Wow. Well, that's what you want.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
well,
hope
you
so.
don't want it to move.
Well, that's
do
what
you?
you're getting. And then it fits in that channel. It comes with nuts and bolts too.
Right. I don't think it's going anywhere, is it?
We'll sugar it as well. Definitely will not be going anywhere. All right,
Get rid of some of this swarf.
swarf.
That's a great word, isn't it? Swarf?
Where do you think it come from?
Don't know. Someone must have been drilling one day and looked at all the stuff left behind and gone, swarf! No, they didn't quite flow, did it?
I'm not sure.
No?
Not sure what to say there.
You don't have to say anything.
I just want to make sure that I'm not offending anybody.
You're going to offend.
Wow.
So cars actually got quite a lot of choices for body mounts here.
Yes.
You could actually make it really wide too if you want it really stable over the wheels.
Well, I've just put a little hole in it. Do you want to move them?
No. Just saying there's options.
Because it is on an angled windscreen.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
It's gonna-
Because we've got support from the rear.
It is going to upset the aeroflow.
That'll be fine.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
I didn't actually notice that until you just mentioned it.
All right, let's do the test fit. I think you just drill them out. I think it's pretty good.
Pretty happy with that?
I think so.
Handy little Aeromax reamer, huh?
Yep.
This has been with me for years, this reamer.
Has it?
Yep. And it's still got the sharp bit on it.
Sharp bits.
So I know it's on an angled window, so I'm actually going to have to oversize the hole because it will slightly be elongated.
Looking forward to driving this. Do I get to drive it?
Why not? You can drive it as long as I get to smash it.
Is that big fan next to the motor standard?
Yep.
Wow.
I don't know actually what it's going to do at speed because there's going to be that much turbulence in there.
Oh, it might be better without it.
But for slow speed and just hooning, you know, because it does come,
Well, it will help it cool down when we actually got it off the track.
because we're going to be, you know, like you can put the small pinion gear on it and drive the thing in the straight. Once you go to a massive gearing, it's really only good for speed runs
Oh,
because it's not going to have the acceleration and braking capacity.
how's it looking? All right,
How's
so
it
we need to trim the back a bit more to drop it down,
Slowly, slowly catch a monkey. It's starting to look like a car already.
isn't it?
Oh, how sleek does it look from the side profile? It's going to be like a butterfly. Butterfly?
So I reckon
What do you reckon?
we need to drop this about 5 mil on the back. So I need to trim off a little bit more.
5 millimeters.
Oh, you love those, don't you?
No, this is a long one. Look at that. That's going to be good for cutting your finger. It's going to slice through the air like a ninja sword.
Like a what?
A ninja sword.
All right, so that's where we're going to make it fit. It's going to sit like that.
I can't wait to watch this video back, Beej, and check out my cutting face.
Your cutting face? You got cutting face?
Because I'm sure it's not as appealing as I think it is.
What, did you have the slight inkling that it might be appealing?
Well, I don't know. I've just been aware that my tongue might have been out of my head for half the last cutting thing.
Oh.
You know how you concentrate so much and the little tongue pops out?
The Brit tongue?
Yep. I'm known for it. Oh, this is some thick carbon. Carbon? Lexan.
Lexan carbon?
My poor little pinkies are having a thrashing.
Are they? All right, so I just use a Sharpie and mark the back one. I'm just going to trim it a little bit. And then once we've got this sitting where we like it, we'll start cutting out the wheel arches, eh? Maybe we'll just start cutting out the back ones now. So I think it looks all right. Let's just double check. Actually, I'll better trim the back, eh?
You're going to trim the back? Do you need these scissors?
Yes, please. Thank you. How's
Lucky.
that? Give you a bit of a rest, eh?
So the car did come fitted with a 14 tooth pinion.
14.
Yep. Does currently have a 26 on there.
Right.
And I think that we could fit a 33 without altering any mounting. Just a matter of sourcing one. They're a Mod 1 pinion.
Yep.
So very conventional for 8th scale and 7th scale cars.
Yep.
With a 5mm motor shaft. And the motor is a 2000 kV 4274. And the 4274 talks about the diameter of the motor and the length.
How much more do I need to cut off here? Just a touch off there. Touch off there. Okay.
Touchy, touchy.
Touchy, touchy. Just a little bit.
She's going to be sleek, isn't she?
I think so. Hope so.
We need to name this car. Maybe we need
all of our cars have been named, haven't they?
Haven't they? Oh, looks so much. I love it with race wheels on. Just looks like a race car already, doesn't it?
Does indeed. Just trim this a little bit off.
Got a NASCAR, got a V8 motor.
So I reckon some of that scrap is going to be handy for reinforcing these bits here.
We've got UV resin and carbon strips for that too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yes. It's on.
On like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, we could probably trim this a little bit, but we'll just put a
Because
body
we're
clip in there.
going to drop the mounts.
No. I reckon that's perfect on the back end. You reckon?
You reckon?
I reckon.
All right, let's go to drop the front. Let's see about dropping the front.
All right.
That's going to change the angle of the dangle as well.
Isn't it? So it'll need to be trimmed?
Is it trimming? I think it is.
Well, how about let's just move them down first, and we'll cut them later.
Yeah?
Yeah. How are these held on? Oh, how'd you do that? Oh no, that needs trimming. Does it?
Does that pull out? And we just trim that down there. Trim the bottom down. It's like a Christmas tree, you only trim it from the bottom.
Oh. I was hoping that would have like slid up and down.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit rambunctious of you.
A bit like the back ones.
Does the back ones do that? Nope.
Well, the back ones are adjustable height.
I think what we do here is we get out the old...
How much did we have to take off the front?
Cut him a cut. So you have a look how long they make these.
Do they give you options? No.
See?
Okay.
I think if you cut...
Well, we could always drill out the hole as well, right? If we cut a heap off and we'll
put
cut out the
spacers in.
pilot. Well, yeah, we could do that too. I just use a long screw. We've got options, haven't we?
We've got lots of options. So I say we go and just cut.
How much do you want to cut off? Because I didn't see before how much we needed.
I would
Was it a
say
fair bit? A centimetre?
I would say 5 mil. Start at 5 mil. If you've got a measuring aptitude testy.
No? What are you talking about?
How are we going to cut it with scissors?
It's pretty hard, isn't it?
Nippers?
It's fiberglass reinforced.
Or we're going to have to saw at it.
Let's see.
No, easy.
Probably going to have to trim this whole lip off here. Oh, what have you done?
Cut it.
I want to get those flat, eh?
Did you like that?
I didn't even see what you've done. I turned around and you already done it. Is there cutting mat around here? No?
Funny story about cutting mats.
I've seen one or two. How about you?
No, I'm not allowed to use them.
Right, I'm just trimming this off so
People
it's
at
a bit
home-
flatter.
What are you saying? I cut it off crap?
Well, I just had dags hanging off it. It wasn't flat. But I mean, you did pretty well for just using scissors.
Well, these are BittyDesign's finest. People are probably cringing. Watch me do this.
I think it's still too long.
Yeah,
We shall see.
I wanted to go too long to begin with.
All right, just try one side. Get that right, and then we'll work out what it's meant to be like for the second one.
Look, it's just going to drop straight in.
You put the donger on the top, yeah?
And then this is going to go straight in. I don't need to put that now.
No, we'll just drop this on. Put the donger in here. The same both ways. All right, let's have a look.
And if you do cut it too short, you could just put like a month space under it.
That's right.
It's not the end of the world. As long as they're level.
Okay, so it's still a bit high, and we're going to have to trim this. See how high it's sitting on here?
What do you mean? Yeah, but as it comes down... No?
Well, we still want the size to match up with the... So we could go down another 5 mil, I reckon.
Another 5 mil?
And then we're going to trim this off.
Yeah?
Yep, because that's going to be sitting on the front bumper.
Let's see what we can do.
All right, 5 mil?
Doctor orders 5 mil. 5 mil, doctor! How do you know 5 mil?
Well, it's 5 times 1 mil.
That's right.
Was it helpful?
What was? 5 mil.
Yeah, my method of working out 5 mil.
And then luckily I've got a 3 mil tap at home. Oh, that's a bit skew-if.
All right, pull out the other one.
Consider it pulled.
I reckon that's pretty good.
I reckon it's spot on.
Yeah?
I reckon it's like the dog.
I reckon. All right, so while you cut that one, I'm going to use a Sharpie and mark off where we have to trim. I'm just going to trim a bit off here.
Is it going to sit lower? Because I want air to get under there.
Hey? No, that's going to, this here is going to sit right on this bumper.
Because we're going to sticky tape it. We're going to have to put race tape on there at some stage.
Yeah, probably.
Because you don't want any
seal
air.
it.
You don't want any air.
Yep.
What do you reckon?
I reckon you're probably about right there. I'll trim off all that.
I reckon that front body's going to need to come down a touch more.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. How about I start trimming this off first?
Yeah. You trim that off and I'll get to making this all sit pretty. Yeah?
Hmm.
Not the perfect tool for the job, but a tool nonetheless. Where did you put the 9 steps sanding sticks?
Oh, they're here.
Or did I have them?
No, they're here. There you go.
There you go. So I'm going to go straight for the 120. That's my favourite one. Somebody showed me the other day they had a bit of 1 grit. That was just a rock.
A big boulder.
Did you like that?
Oh, I loved it.
1 bit per square inch. Here you go, a bit of 1 grit. Geez, it's actually really nylon-y, these body posts.
Are they?
Yeah, they've actually put a lot of because you do want them to be like a bit flexy, right?
Yeah, well, you need a little bit of give. And I guess the fiberglass in it is to give it some stiffness. So together there's durability, right?
It's going to need it. When it starts running into stuff at Mach 5.
Mach 5.
And they actually put nice long screws in there, didn't they?
The body bounce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting it nice and flat. And I see how far my thread goes in.
Right, that's been trimmaged.
Yeah. We're making up words as we go. We've got trimmaged, we've got threads.
That's it. How's that look? Sitting flat on it.
Flat on it.
I think that looks pretty good. Let's go from this angle. Man, that fits like perfect.
Doesn't it? Well, they're designed for it. The
I'm looking at the wheel arch. Well, we don't need to cut out a whole heap of the wheel arch, right?
No. We want to keep it strong.
That's really good. I think if we go with some shoe glue, just fill in that as well.
For strength.
Yep.
We're not really worried about weight on this thing.
No, actually weight helps, I think, on a speed car. No, weight just slows down acceleration. It doesn't really affect the top speed.
Well, it's got to push it there, doesn't it?
Well, it still does. So we're not going to put a brick in there. A little bit of shoe glue, just a little bit. We're not putting the 1 grit in there.
I'm putting the 1 grit in there, but a bit of ballast.
That's right.
Well, it does have, it's going to run on batteries like the size of house bricks.
Yes, yes. How's that one looking? Yeah? So maybe just trim, it's probably like 3 mil.
What,
A
off the
bit
body
more.
post?
Yeah, we want to take off that so it sits flat. So that should sit naturally flat on the bumper, I reckon.
We're just going to lose
Imagine if we had
the
90
hexagonal.
degree.
That's all. That's going to be a problem there. We're going to lose the hexagonal locator.
Does that matter?
Well, I'm wondering if we come down. Oh, it's moulded in.
Yeah, that's right.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter. When we screw it up, it would just be tight.
Tight like a toiga.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If it spins, we just rotate it back. It doesn't matter.
True.
Yep. So it would have been nice to have the hex there, but I think, you know,
Chop chop.
it's going to go.
At least it gives me a nice point which to cut. So I'm going to cut the hex right off.
Yep. No more hex for you.
You've had your hex today. I've been hexed. Here we go.
Right, there you go.
Might have run out of hole as well. Have we run out of hole? Yep. That's where they've ended their hole.
Is it? Oh, okay, so we're going to have to drill that out now.
That's not a problem.
Yep. Well, for the moment, we've got that fit, right?
Fit.
Okay, so I think the next step is just to mark the wheel arches. And we're going to look at the side here.
Yep.
And you'll notice that Bitty's guided wheel arches don't quite match what we've got because they do make them generic.
Yes.
So I think if you cut them directly, they'll fit straight onto like the armor type cars, not a problem.
Well, they're probably each and every model is probably different.
Oh, it would be, wouldn't it?
You know, whether it's infraction, a felony,
Yep.
or limitless, but they are made with a lot of adjustment in mind.
Yes. So I'm going to be looking from my side actually, which you won't see, but it'll be looking this way, and I'll just be making like drawing in the line, which will just have a slight gap around there. Because we don't want the hole really massive, do we? Because we want the air to actually pass over.
That's right.
And some people have actually left rear wheel arches on.
for the integrity of the body.
Yep.
But I think for the aid of aesthetics, I think we should cut it.
I think so.
No?
I think so.
Let's have a look.
I think so. All right, so let's have a look here.
Are you going to take the opportunity now to cut this body off? Or you don't think it matters for the minute?
I don't think it matters for the minute.
We'll
get this. We will cut it off.
Do you reckon?
We won't do it now.
It's not going to be too narrow if we cut it off?
Narrow? Do you
Shouldn't
reckon?
be.
No, I don't reckon.
Right.
I don't think. I don't know, it's hard to say, isn't it?
Because you don't
Well,
want...
we'll have a closer look at it from the bottom.
We will.
And we'll use a ruler. But for the moment, I'm just going to...
Mark away.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave like... about 3 mil. Do you want me to just cut it down straight? Or do you want me to curve it in?
No,
If we curve it in, there's a trouble that it might flap.
Yeah, I don't want it to flap.
No flappage?
No. Because we'll shape it nicely towards the end.
Now here...
We can follow their curve at the top.
Yeah. Because otherwise it's going to start cutting out the arch, which is going to look ugly.
So it's a slightly longer wheelbase what we're going to be. The front's like dead center, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah. Pretty happy with that.
Oh, okay, it is too.
And when you're fitting up a body, it's probably the most important. Get the front done first, and the back is usually
Do you want me
more...
to cut it all the way up to the top here? Or a bit lower? Like there?
Yeah, I think a little bit.
Because the more meat we leave on it, the stronger it's going to be. Because it's not touching, is it? Oh, but it will if it's in a full lean, hitting the berm.
Which it will be. We know how much duress these things go under.
Well, we could probably put some bump stops in there as well. Because we don't want the chassis touching.
No.
Once the chassis touches,
We'll definitely be putting...
you'll lose control.
We'll put some fuel tube
Right,
over the shocks.
let's
There's another episode, Beach.
Let's cut this along the line.
You're short down there. You can
Who?
just see your little head poking up.
Can you see it? Shiny
Yeah.
bit?
You're doing little squiggles. You're like a tattooist. Pop, 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 pop.
Is that what they do?
I'm not sure. Yes, it is.
All right, let's do a little bit of curve here because it looks a bit funky. Yeah. So that's pretty much the same. Almost the same. All right, so let's cut out one side. All right, so that's basically what we've done here.
Hey, have you got drills here?
I can't remember.
Didn't you
I may
have a drill yesterday?
I had some drills here. Can't remember if I took them home. Well, let's just cut this out, eh?
All right.
Let's start cutting this out with the curved scissors.
I was just trying to be constructive. Don't worry
Were
about it. Don't mind me.
You wanted to move on to do other things while I'm doing this.
Don't I have to lower the rear body?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
No, I think it's good.
Oh, it's curvaceous.
Isn't it?
Jeez, you take bigger snips than I do.
What do you mean?
I just do snip, 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 like that.
Why? Because you're scared?
Yeah, a little bit.
Shouldn't be scared.
A little bit. But isn't it my favourite thing, if I'm to be brutally honest?
Yeah, I have to say that mounting bodies is not my favourite thing, but
Or painting them.
it's one of those things you do learn that you should spend some time doing it properly because it comes to bite you later, doesn't it?
Yeah, because they crack and they fall apart. And...
All right, so there's the front. Let's do the back.
Front ski. Nice cut, by the way. Look at this. This is gold, this flap.
Is it?
Yeah, this is gold. You want to hold on to this?
What are you going to...
I'm going to send this to Master Joe for Christmas. He would love that.
You're going to make his year.
That'd make his, oh, bit of 1.5 Lex and he'd lose his mind.
Wouldn't he?
Yeah, you could do everything with that.
You fix the kitchen sink. All right, so there we go. We've got one side done. Let's see what it looks like.
You're going to turn it, you're going to show people at home.
Yeah, we will. What have we done here? How's that look?
I reckon after we do this side, I reckon we call this episode done.
I think so, because I think this gives everyone an idea of
We can do some tidying.
Yeah.
We can do some tidying and then we can present later with the front body post done, the rear on, and stuff like that.
So there it is. That's how we've trimmed it up to fit. See how the front's got quite a bit of droop to it, which we'll probably do something about, won't we?
Yeah. Does have droop adjustment.
And then I'll show you the top camera.
I can't believe how sleek it looks.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Oh.
Oh.
That's right, that's a body mount screw.
That's basically what we've done here. Alright, so there's a droop there.
It almost looks European.
Yeah, that's what it's going to look like under
Have a look at show the aero under the body. This is a design of the FSR GT. Look at that.
So this is what we're talking about trimming. Okay, so if that line matches up with here, I think we can trim it off. And then put some extra Velcro there, so it sits flatter. That's been
put there to accommodate the other body with the wider back wheels.
Right. I think we can trim that, eh?
I reckon we can as well.
Even if we don't trim it all, we'll trim half of it. It'll still help to, you know, support this side panel.
Yep. Stop it from flapping.
Yeah, but the rear's nicely
tough. It will be, because it's probably going to get backed into the wall.
Isn't that right?
Because when it spins and goes up the valet, that's...
But when you do that, I'm going to encourage you to try to drive along the fence.
Hug the fence!
Keep it going!
That is fantastic, guys.
There we go.
Well, thank you for watching that video. We have... Well, we'll be back soon, won't we? We'll do some more cutting and fitting and stuff like that.
Yes.
And we will present it more before it goes off to the painters, Tony Gray.
That's it.
But yeah, so that is getting fitted.
So we're preparing our velodrome car.
Yep.
And that was fitting the BittyDesign
ZL-21N.
N body.
N for NASCAR.
Yes. And showing you our little tricks on how we mount it up on this particular chassis and how we cut it out.
And how thick is it? Wow.
It's tough like that.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. See you later.